Woo!
Just a minute or so early, but welcome everybody. Bring them on board. I'll do the introduction when I see that the clock tick over the hour. We'll do the introductions. Got the first watcher. One.
Nice.
Cool, and you're now up on your profile as well. So yeah, you're official.
Yeah, I don't have a tick yet, but
you don't have a tick yet.
No.
You're gonna.
That means something different in the States.
So welcome everybody. Welcome to the Digital Download. I need to thank our sponsors, Restream, for providing us with the tools and the technology. Do you want to start introducing yourself? I'm going to go round as I see you. So, Mike.
Hey, everybody. Mike Garrison. I am with Values-Based Mindset. I am a partner with DLA Ignite, and I've had lots of caffeine.
Wow.
Eric, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name's Eric Doyle. I help people change their lives with social media.
Oh, I like that.
Thomas?
That's why you have to.
I don't know what to say after that one. Hello, everybody. I'm Thomas Ross. I'm the founder of Social Selling HQ, but I'm also a very active partner with DLA Ignite, the best social sales training company in the world.
In the world. And Adam Gray.
Well, I feel very unworthy after that. Thanks, Thomas. Yeah, so I'm Tim's business partner and co-founder of DLA Ignite, and what Thomas just said, really.
It's good to see. It's good to see Mike got the wear a stylish gilet note.
Very nice. Very nice.
Thank you. Yeah.
So every week, what we do with the Digital Download is we bring things along and we discuss things and talk about some of our experiences that we've had over the last week, what we've been reading, things that have inspired us. I have a fly in the room with me, so every now and again I'm going to suddenly go like this to get rid of it. So I just thought I'd pick someone to go first. So Eric.
Oh my goodness!
Why don't you tell us about your week and what you've learned?
Yeah, thank you. This week has been awesome. This week, if this week was headlined with one word, it would be coaching. So this has been a coaching week, working with some great clients, all at various stages of their social media advancement, but all now getting to that stage. So with this client base that we're working with, everybody's getting to the point now where everything's starting to make sense, which is amazing. So this is this sort of revelation week. For a bunch of our clients where it's all beginning to go, right, okay, fair enough, I get this. This was never about putting flowers in our headline on LinkedIn, was it? No, it wasn't. This is actually a bit, and to hear one of the coachees, one of the candidates, who's relatively new to all of this, started a LinkedIn profile 10 years ago, never really posted much, had a Facebook profile for family stuff and for mountain biking and all that, to say, now I get it, this is a game changer. That whole piece around digital dominance, just going, right, so this is about driving the internet in our favor, the entire global internet in our favor. This is about drowning out our competition completely by using social, not only to make beautiful connections and grow trust and relationships and commercial discussions, but also to win digitally. So we're at that point. So this week has been brilliant because you can see little digital lights going on, little LEDs, not old-fashioned lights, modern lights, LEDs, going on all over the place. So I would say that was this week's, biggest sort of fist bump moment, is seeing these little lights going on. And also it's really nice when, I guess I've said it before, it's not the aim of this, but to see people who've been a little bit reticent come forward and actually put themselves out there, get that humanized kind of element to their content, and bugger me, they go viral.
Fantastic.
It's been beautiful.
I'm just going to put, while I stifle a laugh, I'm just going to put Joe Tran's comment up. So welcome. It must be early for you in Texas. What time is it in Texas, Mike?
It's 2 hours behind, right, Thomas?
In Texas?
Yeah.
So for Texas, wouldn't they be Eastern time? So it's 9 a.m., isn't it?
So it's got to be 7 or 8. So.
Hello, Joe. Why were you stifling a laugh, Tim?
That's late.
There was a particular UK comment that you made, which I thought was particularly funny, which I kind of passed on really quickly. It's a family show.
It's a family show. Yeah, exactly. I'm sorry.
What word was that?
So Eric, I think one of the things that for me, from what you said there, which is that often people think that social selling somehow is just you walk onto LinkedIn and it's there or it happens. I mean, what does it mean to you? Because you talk about digital dominance. What is that?
Yeah, so that whole concept is okay. We're on LinkedIn. Hi, Odessa.
Hi, Odessa.
The lovely Odessa.
Hello, Odessa.
We're on LinkedIn to meet with new prospects and engage in great conversations with people, and that whole aim is to get we move people from a position of I just want to throw stuff on LinkedIn, because if I throw stuff onto LinkedIn the way I used to do with adverts and all of that, that's what happens. We get purchase orders. Well, that's not happening, is it? No, it's not. Because what we want to do is work out how we can have more conversations with really lovely people that can help you, whether that's help you get advice, support, guidance, introductions, referrals. I got it in first, you
win, Eric.
Yeah, I win, or a commercial conversation. So moving to that point where we understand what that's for, but also if we corral all of our activity together, if we do this really, really well, and we take it onto other channels and really build on this and join it all together, we become really muscular in the digital world. So therefore we affect things. When people lift up their little keyboards or go anywhere near their keyboards and type in anything to do with what it is that you're supposed to be delivering to the world, then you become the answers. We're driving the internet. So that whole piece and thinking about that differently is a beautiful thing to see happen to people.
So you've got a number of clients where people have basically said that to them, you're just all over social.
Yeah, you're everywhere. You're everywhere.
Unless, hello to Nick.
Ah, there he is.
Hi, Nick.
It is, by the way, Nick, your sunglasses are on your head, okay, when you need them. Okay.
I mentioned Rayburn to Adam Gray today, and he said, the poor man's aga. Beautiful.
Hey, Nick, the costume came in today.
Oh dear.
So your keyboard looks straight out of Star Trek.
Straight out of Star Trek. It's a little ergonomic number. Yeah. For those of us with carpal tunnel.
So you're talking about digital dominance, Eric, and what that means, and I was saying that you've got a couple of clients that people have come to them and said they're all over social.
Yeah,
they can't go anywhere. But the thing is that that's not just about we're all over social. That's great, but that's opened up. It's been transformational in terms of the commercial interactions that they've had and the opportunities in terms of their the leads and meetings and business one.
Very much so. Very much so. There's being everywhere, and there's being everywhere with elegance and professionalism and with regulation, and that's what it's all about. So there's being everywhere for the wrong reasons and being everywhere for the right reasons. And what we do is maneuver people to be everywhere, be in the right places for the right reasons. And that's just a beautiful thing to see happen. So you're absolutely right. So comments from their supply chain, comments from the prospects, comments from the competition that don't understand why all of a sudden they're in all the spaces that they should be, is just a wonderful thing to see. So it's about that wider piece. It's about, many people will call us and say, we need LinkedIn training. We need LinkedIn training. Our approach to that is we'll include that as part of a much wider oversight piece. And then it all starts to piece together that this was never all about just throwing some content up on LinkedIn and waiting for the purchase orders to fly in.
So but everybody's a social selling coach on LinkedIn, aren't they?
Oh man, that was one of my little threads for today. It's funny, in the energy industry we've gone through phases, and we used to laugh and joke that everyone that was in oil and gas, when renewables started becoming really big, everyone's business cards had "and renewables" written in blue biro after oil and gas sales manager and renewables, and then after a little while renewables was scored out and decommissioning was put in underneath. It's almost like we all see it. We all see it. I'm not here to criticize anybody, but there are so many people now who are professing to be social selling experts all over LinkedIn and other platforms. It's overwhelming right now. It must be hard for people to make the decision where they're going to put their coin.
Well, I think actually for the casual onlooker, it should be fairly straightforward. If you look at somebody's content and the content is valuable, empowering, educational stuff, as well as humanizing personal stuff, then you get a sense both of the expertise and the technical competency of the person, and you also get an idea of who the person is behind that. You know, here's somebody that I gel with. Here's somebody that we've got a similar outlook on life and shared view of things, and we're aligned. If, however, their content is a series of memes that mean nothing about this is what you look like when your sales manager's looking behind you. You know, it's like, I'm sorry, anybody that buys from that person is, you know, fool and their money are easily parted. Sorry. Sorry to interrupt.
Sorry, Adam. What are you
Wind them up.
It's just, you know, this concept that there's a big difference between humanizing. So, you know, Tim posting about, I'm going to see my dad in his nursing home and I've not been for 10 months. So I'm going to be wearing PPE and doing it. That's personal. That's humanizing. That's sweet. We can all empathize with that. A constant stream of vacuous posts are just a waste of time. And you know, there must surely be, nobody can be that shallow, really, can they?
Wrong. Absolutely wrong.
Mike's going to handle this.
Sorry, wrong.
Yeah, but people can be that shallow. Yeah,
I see those people all the time for the last 10 years on LinkedIn.
Yeah, no, you're right.
They have integrity of mediocrity.
Yeah, Adam once said about a number of individuals that they exploit people's ignorance around what social is.
Not only that, they count on it. I mean, you see this in financial services all the time. Like half of the profits for the entire industry are predicated upon consumers being ignorant.
Well, but I do think that that often, and I know this from my networking days before the arrival of social media. And I always used to get really concerned when the business consultant would turn up in their rusty old Ford Escort rather than in their Lamborghini. You know, because if they're giving you advice on how to make your business successful, sure. Thanks, Odessa. If they're turning up to give you advice on how to be successful and they themselves are not being successful, I think that's a really bad metaphor for the value of the advice that they're giving you. And I think that you know, we see that on social as well. And you're right, Odessa, absolutely. You know from all of us that we share personal stuff as well as professional stuff, you know, whether that's me playing the guitar or Eric, who I believe runs endurance events. And
he's got a caravan as well.
And he's got a caravan.
I told you about that.
And you know, all of those things that we do, so we bring our whole selves to the party. I think that's incredibly valuable. I
think we need to stop. And I think I really think we need to stop. It's beginning to really grate on me saying business content and professional content. It's life content, right?
Absolutely.
It's life content.
I like that. Yeah.
It's life content. We publish life content, facets, snips and snapshots of our digital lives. Now, in amongst all of that, under that heading will be business stuff, family stuff, holiday stuff, interesting stuff, entertaining stuff. There'll be people up ladders, cleaning out gutters, people playing guitars, then people publishing really strong blogs about the art and science of social selling and marketing and all of that. It's all part of our life. I hate this differentiation between, oh, should I make that a business post or a personal post?
Well, people don't understand it's social. Social is every interaction we have with other human beings.
Yeah.
Yes, but you know, I would agree with what Odessa said earlier there. in her comments, in that what
about Adam singing the blues?
No, after, I think it was before that, when she said that you need to understand there's the one. That each social platform is different. And what you do and how you say it and the content that you put in there needs to represent that platform, at least to some degree. That's not to say we're more or less human on one or the other. That's just to say the nature of the content needs to reflect the platform you're on.
Absolutely.
Right.
So this week, Adam, you've had a whole load of emails from people selling social selling or something, haven't you?
No, cold calling.
Oh, cold calling.
It's funny. I was doing a little bit of research earlier in the week, and you know, the nature of cookies being embedded in your machine means all of a sudden now I'm on everybody's email list. Are you interested in some cold calling training? Just a quick glance in my direction in terms of content, people would see probably not. However, the nature of marketing automation means now I'm on that terrible death spin, aren't I? Down
for cookie read tracker.
Yeah,
stalker. Yeah.
Oh, isn't it? It's
the
just
cookie
horrendous,
monster.
isn't it? Horrendous. And actually, you know, I think that something that I'm not interested in, that I might have glanced in that particular direction, and now I'm in their crosshairs. You know, they're stalking me like some hunter with his camouflage cap and his duck call thing, and they can see, you know, they can smell the fear, and they know that they're closing in on me. And I think, you know, unfortunately, that's the vast majority of people. That's their experience of sales and marketing in 2021, isn't it? You know, I had a quick look. I went and bought something. And now forever, I'm going to be consigned to receiving targeted ads from the people that I've already bought the product from, or the competitors of that person. Or I was doing some research and I decided that actually I don't want to go on holiday to a resort in Spain. And now all of a sudden I've got loads of things from the resort in Spain. And I think that it's desensitizing people and it's turning people off before they've had a chance to be turned on by content. And, you know, one of the things that's so lovely now, and you'll have seen it if you've updated to the latest iOS software, is that every time you switch on an app, it says, is it okay for this app to try? No, it's not, which makes it impossible for these people, you know, and whilst Apple obviously have their own agenda, it kind of does give you a bit of a warm feeling that they've got your back, that they're trying to make the world a better place. I remember Tim said the most fantastic strapline. He said, jokingly, he said, we should use this in some of our content. He said, DLA, working towards an ad-free world. And I thought, perfect, absolutely perfect, because nobody wants this stuff. You know, it's intrusive and annoying, and it's kind of like being stuck in an abusive relationship, really, isn't it? It's dreadful.
You know, Adam, it's so interesting because I'm getting ready to cancel a pretty expensive subscription service strictly because for me to pay the thousands of dollars a year I pay to them to have their automation ignore the fact that I'm a current customer.
Yes.
It's unacceptable. It's like not only is automation ruining sales, it's ruining customer experience. And I'm
already a customer. I like you guys, and you're putting me off you.
Yeah, no, it's done. It's thousands of dollars, and there's people that I used to, I'm not using the word, introduce other people to, and I'm no longer. But now what I'm doing is teaching people how to do RFPs. That's what I'm teaching them.
Go on, Tim. Go on. Explain that why we're all laughing.
Well, I think that Jan makes a great point here, that social has exploded during the year. It will it keep the momentum after the pandemic is over? I think it's a really good question. He thinks yes. Watching the rise in content like TikTok, yes. Instagram, LinkedIn, yeah, absolutely. And I think LinkedIn is changing big as well around celebrating content. I mean, what's your views on that, guys?
I'll guarantee it. In fact, that's what I was going to talk about today. Was the biggest thing that ever happened in sales and marketing happened Monday. It was the funeral of cold calling, and the funeral director was Merrill Lynch. They scheduled the funeral.
One of the biggest cold callers in the world.
Well, I mean, so here's the thing: for the first time in history that I know of, a multinational sales organization has explicitly banned cold calling by all of its new advisors, right? And where everybody's missing the boat on this is they're laughing at Merrill Lynch because they're assuming that Merrill Lynch is going to do social bad. And what Merrill Lynch basically did, there's a Wall Street Journal article, you can look it up this Monday. What they did was they made this decision because they're a bank. I don't know if you know anything about banking, but they are a lagging profession and they're extraordinarily conservative. They don't make decisions because they think social is the way to go. They made decisions because they've been tracking data since 1945, which is how long they've been training new advisors, 3,000 a year. And they know that cold calling is awful, that it doesn't work, and that the retention rates on these people that they spend tens of thousands of hundreds of thousands of dollars on are even worse than the success at cold calling. And so when you take all that, the funeral is done. The other big thing is, how would you like to be another financial advisory firm that competes with Merrill Lynch? And now you are effectively, because of fear, trepidation, and a lack of strategy, you are now labeled forever as a cold caller by every Merrill Lynch person. How's that feel, Morgan Stanley? How's that feel, Mass Mutual? How's that feel, Northwestern Mutual? Right?
But, I mean, one of the things that you say, basically, there's a good guy, bad guy thing. All they need to do is say, we don't cold call, we're the good guys.
Yeah.
So everybody else is guilty by association because they're the bad guys.
It doesn't matter if it's true or not. The fact is that you have been strategically dominated by Merrill Lynch. Fact. Like, you can't do it. Here's the other thing. You ready?
But by the way, that's the article. Thanks, Jan. It's well worth checking out.
I got a couple more points, and then I want to see what everybody else has to say. Number one, this will be the first time that I'm aware of that a massive multinational conglomerate that is a sales organization is shifting all of their training and development towards social. They're going all in on LinkedIn and internal introductions, right? Secondly, assuming that they're going to do badly is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of, right? Because they've got the talent, they've got the resources, they've got the money to go. They could hire DLA. They could go to Tim and Adam and offer them some ungodly, sum of money, and all of a sudden they've got the best social selling program that ever existed.
We were going to talk to you about that, actually.
Okay.
There's something we need to tell you after this call, Mike.
Well, I'm all for it. But here's the thing, right? There's two big things that have been missed. Recruiting for new advisors in the financial services space has forever changed, because no longer is it about how resilient and how driven and how competitive you are. It's how good is your network and how are you engaged with it? Because if LinkedIn is going to be the vehicle, they're not going to hire people that don't have LinkedIn networks. If you're in college, if you're thinking of transitioning to financial services, you better start building your LinkedIn network.
It's the same in high tech, Mike, that all my headhunter friends are saying that they only look for salespeople now that have an understanding of digital. If you want to be headhunted, you have to be digitally aware. And that's a shout out to any salesperson here that's watching this. If you're not digitally aware, you won't get headhunted. And you need to go to your bosses and you need to explain to them why you need to be trained to sell digitally.
And here's my last point. The funeral is done. It's set. We know that it's over. The question is, are you attending in the coffin? Or are you attending in the audience? Right? Oh. That's your decision. This is like, it's not over. If you're a financial advisory firm, the guys I love working with, guys and gals, it's not over. You still have time, because Merrill Lynch is like the Titanic turning. It's a huge organization, but you cannot compete with them on R&D and training development internally in your organization. You need outside help. You need guides. You need people that are going to help you be agile and be dominant in your space, because you can absolutely clean their clock. But you can't do it without a plan.
When you let us know about this, Mike, and I know you were super excited and shared it with us, I went and found some other articles. I found a really nice little article by Rachel Louise Ensign at Wall Street Journal. Now, I don't come from your world, right? And you explain it so well. And sometimes when you talk, I get lost in all the the financial services and all that, because I just find it mystifying, brilliant. But I read this brilliant part of this article. Rachel writes, cold calling has been a mainstay of advisor training programs across the industry since their inception. As stock ownership became widespread in the 1980s, brokerage firms hired droves of young trainees to work the phones. Listen to this. When Frank Maselli joined Dean Witter in 1983 as a rookie broker, he was given a seat in a cavernous room filled with other trainees, where he made 1,000 calls a day from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. his script was in front of him, and he said, I have a bond, I have it for 2 days, it might be gone tomorrow. And he would tell the strangers who picked up, he would tell them this little line, and 1% was his goal per day. 1%. If he can get 1% to bite, that was a win of 1,000.
It's interesting because that article goes on and actually says that people just aren't picking up the phone. But the thing that Mike said is that Merrill Lynch don't make these decisions based on some low-level meeting, and we think about it. This is a strategy. This has been decided at a very high level based on data. And they actually say in that article that they know that social selling provides a bigger output than cold calling. Merrill Lynch know this based on data. Now, add that to the fact that McKinsey said in the report last week that people who are digitally selling outperforming other people, you can see that there's a number of dots starting to form. And it's now down to the leaders of this of business to basically connect these dots and see which way the world is traveling. Yeah,
the one thing that I would add to this whole thing that is applicable to any sales organization is the mindset that you approach social on. Because if you are looking at social, whether you're a financial advisor or you do, you're with Cyberhawk, right? And you're doing cool drone stuff, right? Whatever industry you're in, if you approach social as being any different from the real world, meaning like, oh, social's full of, bad things, you're making a mistake. Because here's what's going to happen. All the big boys are coming to social and they are not leaving. They're coming there. They're going to experiment. They're going to invest money. You no longer have an option to be digitally dominant. You have an option to lose or win, period. And the way you do that is you approach social not as entertainment. You approach it as the best possible place you can achieve your work goals in.
Yeah, and I would add to that, and I think you make a really good point, Mike, is that it goes across all industries. And I would just put it out there that anybody cold calling today is a telemarketer, right? And we all know how we feel about telemarketers.
It's telemarketing. It's really telemarketing.
That's all it is. So if you're cold calling, you're a telemarketer. Period.
If you email, you're a telemarketer.
I had an internal content argument. I wrote a blog and someone came back and countered the fact that I said cold calling was dead and immoral and all of that. And someone came back and said, actually, it's vital. And I pushed that a little bit within the commentary, and it came back, and this person said, cold calling is absolutely not dead. I sold 200 places on my cold calling course only last week. What would your driver be, I wonder? What would your driver be for perpetuating this myth?
So I was actually going to come to Nick's question, but he's just actually, but I think it's useful for the whole of the community. So one of the things is everybody who's leaving a comment, please connect with everybody who's leaving a comment, because what we want to do is make sure that we're building a community. Yeah. And we really appreciate all your comments. We can't get to everything, but if Nick can connect to Odessa and Jan and stuff like that, and connect to us, then please do.
Yes, Jan. They're desperate.
I've got a question that Nick's just left, which I know that. Actually, I'm going to go Janice. I'm going to pick you, Janice, because Nick's just gone. So, hello to Janice. Hi, Janice. Have you noticed how aggressive these cold callers? I mean, I don't know about you, but what feels to me is that the interruption that comes to me through email and through cold calling has got more aggressive over the last 12 months.
They're fighting for their lives.
That for me is the smell of desperation.
Yeah, they're fighting for their lives. The grave has been dug and they're standing on the edge. The coffin has been selected. Like the musician's there and the priest is there. They know it's over, but they are going to go down swinging. God help them.
But I guess, okay. We do differentiate email marketing and cold calling, but essentially grouped into the same bucket, right? But sure, so I have a less trouble on the direct cold calling. I have lots of aggression on email. Lots of aggression on email. You have not. This is the 4th time I've emailed you, and you haven't responded to me. Am I talking to the right person? Put me in touch with the right person.
Have you? Did you see the last email that I sent you, Eric?
Oh yeah.
Yes, I chose not to respond to it though.
I didn't, because I created a rule that every time you send me an email, it goes straight into my bin box.
Yeah, but we talked about it earlier. Current vendors are doing the same damn thing. Like, I'm getting aggressive emailing about something I already bought.
Yeah.
So, Sandy,
that would be an awful
Sandy,
thing,
it's actually a psychological condition. It's actually been reviewed by psychologists that most people can't stand that level of rejection.
Mm-hmm.
They've done a lot of experiments with people on it, and unfortunately, you just can't stand that level of rejection. What happens is you just keel over, which is why 80% of cold callers basically burn out or disappear or whatever, because it just isn't what humans want.
Well, they're trying to decondition you to humanity. Like, I'm a military veteran, and there are things that you do in the military to desensitize you to things that normal people won't do. And that is the essence of cold call, email, direct marketing training, is we are going to turn you into a little mini psychopath between 8 to 6. And you're going to be callous, and you're not going to care. And, you know.
So Eric, what was it you said for Janice?
It was the fact that I was pretending, you know, you're not responding to me. You know, I've emailed you 4 times, and this is your last chance. People are telling me by email, this is my last chance to buy their lead generation software. Oh, this is their last chance. This is your last chance.
If only it were, Eric. If only it were.
My last chance for what?
That's right.
You know, if the thing is that these people are often selling stuff where they're like selling social selling training. Well, if your social selling training worked, you wouldn't need to email me.
But also,
call me.
No, this is getting really silly now. This is getting really silly. I got an email the other day that said, "This is not a sales circular." So I opened it.
Oh yeah.
Not a sales circular. So I opened up the email. I thought, I wonder what this is going to be. They simply want to demo a lead gen software package to me. That's all they want to do. It's not a sales circular. They just
no. It's different. We want. I've had one that says, as you're an influencer, we would like your advice on our lead gen software. It's like, no, you want to pitch it to me.
Yeah. I appreciate that you're really busy, but you don't. Yeah. You don't. The mere fact you've sent that email demonstrates you don't appreciate that I'm really busy.
Hey, Adam, have you guys gotten that new pitch scheme out there, which is, hey, I'm writing my 2nd book on influencers, and I was hoping to interview you about being in the book. Have you guys been getting that? Because it is fast and furious. You know.
Because what happens, Mike, is that people write articles, which basically has and you can get books which have basically a set of templates. And so what happens is that someone finds this article about templates, and then it just everyone shares that through the sales team, and it just goes viral. So you end up getting every single person sends you exactly the same email, exactly the same template. So there's no competitive advantage.
Well, they're also calling too. They're calling and texting me all the time. Like,
you know what this means, right? And this leads to the article that I wanted to bring up today. This means that we no longer need or require all those telemarketers, all those spam email folks, all those people. You know, we don't need these people anymore. And the fact is that in an article that McKinsey put out, it was actually an interview. They talk about the shifts in the workplace, and where, in fact, the changes in industries are going to happen. And number 1 on the list for the drop in jobs and opportunities and growth is sales, right?
So
and
you came across
we're talking about will, in fact, be gone.
So you came across an article from McKinsey, Thomas, I think came out yesterday, where they talk about the fundamental changes that the pandemic is enforcing on certain types of jobs.
That's right. Yes, and it's a really good interview, and I'd recommend everybody read it. We can put it up. for everybody to see. But the interesting thing about it is it tells us what you guys are all saying so well, you know, and your constant analogy of the funeral is a good one, Mike, although a little crass, but it's okay. The fact is these people are no longer going to have jobs because automation and AI is going to replace all that crap. And companies like Merrill Lynch are going to put in the right training programs, as many others will as well, to train people how to properly communicate, educate their customers, and help them in their buying process. And that's what we're here to do. And social media is absolutely one of the best places, if not the best place, to do that. So for all of you people that in sales enablement and otherwise, that are still telemarketing and cold calling and spam emailing, you might want to get the job ads out or the classified section.
Is it? But Thomas, one of the big things is that, and I think Mike, you're probably about to say this, which is that the problem is that people don't know any different.
Yes, it's not their fault.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, it's about trust, right? Isn't it about trust? And here's what I'm experiencing, thanks to all of you. Before strategic social selling, right? Before Adam and Tim went through the horrible crucible of trying to get this out there, in spite of everyone telling you guys it wouldn't work. Before that, trust had to be built anecdotally, right? It was done through other people talking about you. Now we've got it in writing. Now we've got this record of trust. And what it does, if you understand relationship stuff, I'm not talking about accelerating direct messaging. It's not what I'm talking about. But the process that we teach on how to move from anecdotal trust to evidence-based trust via strategic social, that is the future for large organizations or small. And I've got to give credit to Eric, because Eric, it was on one of the training sessions, you were talking about that. And that's the biggest difference. In the old way, the analog world, trust was still the killer app, but you couldn't control it. And it was only incidental. Like you hoped that a client would talk about you when they were in front of somebody else. Now that entire conversation of trust, of testimonial, of validity occurs online. And Adam, of course, you talked about it in the training course. I'm not forgetting.
So I got a question for you. Hold on. I haven't actually read this one, but I just thought, the reason why whoever sent this, it says LinkedIn user, if you're not connected to me, Restream can't see your name. So
I'm not sure. I have a feeling that might be Kevin Milne. Kevin Milne sometimes has trouble appearing on this, and that sounds like Kevin. Can you validate yourself? I'm saying the LinkedIn user is Kevin Milne. Maybe wrong.
A Scottish thing?
Is that what?
Is that a Scottish thing?
What, that we don't appear on Restream?
Kevin, can you just confirm or deny that's you?
Come in, Kevin. Your time is up.
It's Kevin.
It's Kevin.
Yeah, it's Kevin.
It's Kev.
Yeah. Go knows. I don't know what that means. Maybe that's a Scottish thing. Just as a little addendum to all of this, has anyone else noticed? And again, I don't want to be critical. It's just an observation. The amount of what we would call traditional sales method punters, purveyors of cold calling software, training, and the email marketing software that are actually really ramping up their social selling. Like, they're becoming influencers by producing brilliant videos, establishing a massive following on multiple platforms, entertaining stuff, blah, 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 blah. Then bad-mouthing social selling, but also, getting, 500-600 likes and 25,000, 30,000 views of the 2 videos they're putting out a day to flog an email marketing tool. I think it's a really odd shift.
It's really, but it's bizarre when you get people on social selling cold calling. If cold calling worked, you'd ring me up to sell it me. If email marketing worked, you'd send me an email. Why would you be on social? I agree with you, Eric. These people are on social selling things, so it obviously doesn't work. It's like our local radio station has a digital marketing company who buys ads on local radio. It's like, I end up shouting at the radio, you know, it obviously doesn't work because you're having to advertise on radio.
You know, it's like the people that did horse and buggy sales after the first couple of Model Ts rolled off the assembly line. You know, it's like they're selling the wrong product, but unfortunately, there's not enough people talking about how it really works.
Well, there is now, and that's what we're doing, and that's becoming the change that's happening. And again, I can't emphasize strongly enough. If and you know, we talked down, and you made a really good point, Tim. A lot of the people that are telemarketing and that are cold calling haven't had the opportunity to do something different because they haven't been trained to do that. And up until recently, with Merrill Lynch making that announcement, many of the major companies are still training people to telemarket, and that needs to change. And in many cases, it's going to change because people are going to go into their sales manager, who still hasn't figured out what's going on, and say, listen, there's a better way. I've been watching Tim Hughes and Eric and Mike,
Thomas Ross,
and not Thomas,
Mike Garrison,
pretty boring, but the
Grant.
is, yeah, there's a better way, and I'm going to go and do it whether you want me to or not. And hopefully you'll see the
when you say sales manager, I think you mean telemarketing manager.
You stole my thunder.
Thank you, Adam.
You're naughty.
These telemarketers need to. I mean, if they don't know how to sell, they need to get out of the business.
Yeah,
they're not in sales, are they? They're in telemarketing.
They're just marketers, really. These just telemarketers.
Tim, they're the dude we were talking about at 6 a.m. this morning. The rowing on the ship. They're the guy with the whip, and they're just savaging people.
Like, You know, in the old Egyptians, they had these. They had slaves to row the boats, and the only way they can make the boats go faster was to whip them all, which is why you can buy software that makes your telemarketers make more calls.
So
I mean,
I got a question.
I was going to talk about morality there. But you go ahead.
Let me tee it up for you, right? Because it's right there. What I think individual people like Odessa, you know, maybe Odessa's company is not a DLA, right? But individual people need to understand what we're talking about because it's your individual pathway to future, right? Your future is going to be determined by how well you understand social selling and influence, because it's everything. Building your network, having a profile, as Eric talks about so eloquently, being able to engage like a human being, understanding the role of creating your own voice, right? It's not just for Merrill Lynch. It's for every individual person, the mechanic, you know, the secretary, the scientist. This is the pathway for you being able to have more control of your future.
The secretary, the mechanic, the scientist. Are you building a little league of like the Justice League there? The secretary.
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yeah, I like it. Absolutely. I'm wondering, just on Thomas's point about telemarketing, there are probably people, given the fact that with every scenario in the world, there's probably multiple.
These are cold callers. Or they telemarketers? Or is that one of the same things?
Same thing.
Well, these folks. So there are probably sales professionals out there who would call themselves sales professionals who come into work every morning and are told to make a certain amount of calls, and they call up clients and they say, "Hi, you don't know me, but I know that you use company X. Well, we're company Y. And we do a better job of doing what they do, and we do it at a better price and a better quality and all of that. And we'd love to come in and present to you and do all of that. And then just keep.
I think, Eric, what actually happens is, hello, you don't know me, and I know that you buy from. Hello.
Oh, he's gone. But then they dial another number. But they're sales professionals. So that whole realization of, I'm just wondering if there's any scenarios if there's some poor person reading this, or sorry person reading this, who's driving home in the car with this on in the car, who's just pulled over and gone, I'm a telemarketer.
And what are the moral implications?
There's a word, isn't it, Eric? It's called thunk.
It's called the thunk, yeah.
Where the thunk happens. It's like you're driving along and you realize that you're not a cold caller, you're just a telemarketer. And it's called a thunk moment.
It's called a thunk moment. Eric. Yeah, exactly. I think the thunk moment we tend to realize, we tend to associate with social media realization. That's more of a sort of like splunk moment when there's a sort of lower bowel movement when they've just realised they're a telemarketer. It's more of a kind of like slop than a thunk. Yeah, but yeah, I just
calling from a sheet of data cannot and will not be effective when anyone is aware of what it should be done. When they filed me, they did me a favour. Absolutely, I cannot work on. Yeah, absolutely.
Tim,
yeah, totally agree.
Moral implications.
Sorry, Mike.
I said moral implications. You're teed up.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to go back to one of Nick's points, even though he's gone to pick the kids up. And because I know that this is kind of a hacky type thing. I want to change the subject, and I'm actually going to turn to Adam, because I know that he's done this, which is that he's actually cleaned up his LinkedIn feed.
Yeah.
So that and I think some of you others have done this, where he only so normally when you go through your LinkedIn feed, you go crap. Who is that idiot? Crap. And you don't want to unfriend them or anything like that. So you've actually done a lot, haven't you, Adam, in terms of cleaning up your LinkedIn feed? So you go interesting. So what have you done?
Yeah. So obviously, when you are new to LinkedIn and you've got a small network, it's reasonable to assume that you know everybody and you haven't got too much stuff to wade through. But as your network gets bigger, as it gets sort of north of 1,000 and becomes ultimately several thousands, there's a vast load of stuff in there from people that are either not relevant to you today or are not in your target accounts or don't provide stuff. They provide those ridiculous memes of what your sales manager, the effect he has on you when he's listening to you making your calls. And your newsfeed doesn't need to be stocked with that stuff. It needs to be stocked with stuff that you can engage with, where it's educational, where it moves you closer to people, all of that. So I went through the process of unfollowing a large number of people that I was connected.
So that's on the on LinkedIn. If you go to the top right hand corner, there's like 3 dots or something. If you click on that, you can unfollow people, even unfollow the person that may have shared it who might not be in your network.
Yeah, absolutely. Or you can go to your network and then by default, when you look at people that you're following, it will show you the people that you're following rather than the people that you're connected to. And then you can choose the sliders and go to the people that all of the people that you're seeing their content. And you can refine it down to the point where, so I've got, I don't know, north of 10,000 people that follow me, and I assume therefore that I'm following most of them. And it was at the point when I had to scroll to find something from somebody that I knew or somebody that I was targeting or somebody that was valuable to me. So I swept out all of the dross, and now when I go to my newsfeed, and I've shown the guys this, I go to my newsfeed, I can basically like and comment and read everything that I see, which means that it's hugely valuable to me. So 5 minutes between meetings or calls or whatever is 5 minutes where all of it is valuable stuff engaging with my network.
What if buyers did that?
Well, I actually, I'm coaching a couple of companies, and I actually suggested it. I said, why don't you do this? Because the usual thing, LinkedIn is really noisy. And the comment was, but what happens if our buyers do it to us?
Yeah.
I said, well, they won't see your content. But we put out corporate content that nobody's interested in.
Yeah. Then
like, well, yes. Can you not see where this logic's going? So you could be in a situation where you're putting stuff out and actually nobody follows you because you're so dull and boring.
So why did Adam? What are the 3 criteria that I can guess that Adam decided to clear out? Boring, not there, or annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's not be any of those 3.
And you know, I think that the reality of this is because it's very what I think the majority of people are looking for is they're looking for a hack. They're looking for a way where they get leverage on their time and they don't have to do very much and they get a whole lot in return. And that's not the way the world works ever. You know, so Mike comes from the networking world. That's
referrals.
I didn't want to say that. And And that, the face-to-face networking groups, is a fantastic metaphor for how LinkedIn should and could work. You know, if I'm in the same room as you, you may not be relevant to me. I may not even particularly like you, and you may not like me, but it doesn't mean that I have to throw you out of the room. You can stay in the same room having conversations with people. I want to make sure that this week I'm trying to get a conversation with Tim. So therefore, I will make sure that I'm seeing as much of Tim's content and engaging with as much of Tim's content as I possibly can. And when I've had my conversation with Tim, I might then unfollow Tim and start following Eric in order that I can see his content in my newsfeed. And when we think about it in that sort of strategic way, where we're not looking to throw mud at a wall, we're looking to laser focus who it is that we're consuming content from and having conversations with, it all starts to make more sense. Why would you want to engage with my content if I don't want to engage with yours? Well, the fact is you wouldn't, because that's not how the world works. You know, you go out for a date with someone and you spend the whole meal talking to them and no time listening, you won't get a second date. I can be reasonably confident of that.
It is. It's a strange when there's this assumption of reciprocity, where if I keep throwing out shit at the wall and stick, and you're all sitting there thinking, "Wow, isn't that amazing? All that corporate content. Wow, that's fantastic." It's like, and actually nobody says that. And in fact, we all have the democratic right, because social media is the ultimate in democracy. If we don't like something, you know, every morning we get up, we actually are voting that if I follow you, that I see your stuff. Or my followers on Twitter, they get up in the morning and they say, I'm going to follow Tim. And they don't have to.
That's right. And we can vote with our mouse.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if you keep putting out corporate shit, people will stop following you.
But Tim, when you say to me that you've got fantastic value SEO services, because I've never heard that message before. Never heard that. I've never heard that you can deliver to me a constant stream of qualified leads without me having to do it. I've not heard that from anyone. So thanks. Please tell me more of that.
It's the same. You know, all these people put out all these templated things, and we've all heard it before. And I had someone today who was a contact of mine, and he's just sent me a note. It's like, I said, sorry, mate, but you've just become like just another salesperson.
Yeah,
I get these messages, you know, hundreds of them every week.
Janice's chat is, yeah.
Why do people think that building relationships is quick and easy? It's not the case in life, so why should it be in the digital world? Yeah,
absolutely.
It takes effort, energy, and focus, and a desire to do it.
Strategy.
But I think you know, sales takes effort. If you're not willing to put in the effort, you should get out of sales.
Mm-hmm.
And social selling isn't a quick fix. Cold calling takes effort. Sending emails takes effort. Social selling takes effort. Doesn't take as much effort as the other two. But if you're not willing to put in the effort, why are you in sales?
Well, like, do you want to walk down the stairs or jump off the cliff? You know, they'll both get you to the bottom. What's the better way?
Yeah, but Tim, this sounds like a lot of hard work, and I get a salary every month, so
yeah,
really, you know,
you get a salary every month until you're sacked. Yeah.
Oh yeah. What else have we got on? We're running out of time.
So we've got 7 minutes left. Anybody else got anything funny? Have you cleaned out your gutters this week? Have you?
I got something cool. You ready?
Yeah.
Tomorrow's personal post is going to be about the greatest accomplishment of my entire life. It's the 28th wedding anniversary.
Wow!
Outstanding.
That's amazing, mate. Congratulations.
Yeah, it is. It is without a doubt. When people ask me why should I hire you as a sales coach, this is what I bring up. I go, the only evidence for this marriage continuing is customer acquisition, customer service, customer retention. And that's what it's really about. But no, it is the greatest accomplishment of my life, is this fabulous woman.
Allegedly, the 28th wedding anniversary symbol is the orchid.
Nice.
Is that a flower?
It's a flower. Yes, it's a flower. It's not a V8 truck.
Yes. So this week I saw my dad for I've not seen in 10 months.
That was a beautiful piece
Yeah,
of content, Justin.
And
your network loved it.
I've not seen him in 10 months, and he's got dementia, and but the great thing was that he's still got his sense of humor. At the end, he did he went, "It's brilliant," like on the Fast Show. And I was there with my mum, and I pointed out, I said, "Mum, look," I said, "Look at him," and she said, "He's still got that lovely smile." And I thought, yes, you know, it's like you could see, and it's like you've been married for nearly 61 years, and you still love each other. And I said, "Look at his eyes. You can tell that even though he doesn't know what he had for lunch, he still knows who you are, and he still loves you." And it was just beautiful just seeing them like hold hands, because and we weren't even supposed to do that. We had to shut the doors so they could hold hands, because that was like, so don't tell, and don't tell anybody that they did that. But it was beautiful. It was lovely to watch, being as I'm like a son, you know. And so I put a picture of my mum up on Instagram, me and my mum face together, and everyone went, "Oh, you look just like your mum." And then I put a picture of my dad up on LinkedIn, and everyone went, "Oh, you look just like your dad."
Yep.
And that's good, because I'm glad that's the
case. Now you know, Tim.
You look so much like Charlie the Milkman.
Yes, yeah, that's what I was. Yeah. And Mike, Odessa says that she agrees with you.
That happens in the UK too, Eric. It sure happens in America all the time.
What, the milkman?
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness, yeah, big
I thought
time.
it was the postman.
Could be.
Yeah, it's friendly people.
Depends who's got the biggest cart.
Is that
so any other funny things that have happened, or nice things that have happened this week, guys? Because we've just got about 4 minutes left.
It's a nice thing, and it just appeals to me, my sense of humor, and it's also quite weird and freaky. It's worth checking out. There's a Turkish artist on LinkedIn. His name's Hossein Diba, and he has.
How do you spell that?
Hossein Diba, and Hossein took all the Simpsons characters and made them into like almost human, still cartoony, but when you click on them, they are just priceless. That's Homer.
Wow.
He's taken Sideshow Bob. He's made them more. I mean, they are quite weird. There's Bart, what Bart would look like.
That's terrifying.
It's absolutely terrible. Mo, as we all know, and these are just
that was
horrible.
Mr. Burns, yeah.
I only saw it a couple of hours ago, and I thought that'd be a nice little thing to put up.
The hounds.
That was very good, very good, very good.
So who was that again?
So it was posted by the lovely Paul Parsons, but the artist himself is Hossein Diba.
Oh yes,
and there's Hussein's. Excuse me one sec. There's Hussein's profile picture. Hossein Diba is the artist. Brilliant work, absolutely fantastic.
So he was asked, do you know if they're NFTs?
Oh, that's some crypto shit right there.
Should be now.
That's some crypto shit right there.
Great question, Eva.
Non-fungible token art. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
AKA crypto shit.
Yeah, big time. Big time. And if you're around, if you were anywhere around the Doyle household last night, the only thing that was being spoken about was the Friends reunion.
Did you watch it?
Oh, lovely.
I did. Yeah. My wife went to a party with her girlfriends, and they had all the girls were around watching it, and they were all crying and stuff. I watched the end of it. I thought it was quite touching. I thought it was quite good.
Was he stoned or not?
Who?
That one guy.
Oh yeah, Matthew. Well, I think Matthew Perry's actually damaged, mentally damaged from all his painkiller abuse. He's in a bad way, but I think he's been clean for a long while. But yeah, but it was just lovely to see them all, and they are genuinely warm people that are friends, and the production value on that get together was so high. They had read-throughs of all the classic scenes. They had it's worth watching. I think it was good because, whether you're into TV or not, whether you're into TV in the 90s, Friends has kind of touched all of us in some way, whether it's through kids or whatever. It was great.
Yeah,
and I'm not a huge fan.
Me too, Odessa. Me too. I should be watching that tonight.
It's
I like
lovely.
Hooters more.
The only thing that was wrong with it for me is James Corden. I've got a problem with James Corden, but that's for another live.
Where's he from?
England.
He's British.
Bill O'Ricky, if Gavin and Stacey is anything to go by.
That's right. So it is. Yeah, absolutely.
So on that bombshell, thank you everybody for turning up.
Thanks, Tim, for hosting.
We love Friends. We love Friends here. I think Eva's saying something. Wow, you've never seen. Have you ever seen Star Wars? Have you ever seen Star Wars, Eva?
Tim, savage.
Well, I'm just wondering. I mean, I've seen a couple of Friends, but I've not seen them all. But
yeah, it's like Game of Thrones. I've never seen a Game of Thrones. Have no desire to.
I've never seen a Game of Thrones.
That's the lovely Stuart White. Let's take our hats off. Let's take our hats off to Stuart White. Stuart White achieved a viral piece of content this week.
If you want to see a good LinkedIn profile, go and look at Stuart's profile.
Yeah, it's a cracker, and
it's a really good profile. Yeah,
absolutely brilliant. And that piece of content he put out about his first job, absolutely
fantastic.
My goodness.
It's well worth going to have a look. So thank you everybody for attending. Mike, Eric, Thomas, Adam. Lenwood's on holiday this week, so he sends his apologies. Thanks to everybody tuning in. All of the comments, Janice, Odessa, Nick, Kevin, Eva, Stuart, all of the people. I've probably forgotten somebody as well. Thank you for Restream.io for the platform, and we'll be here next week.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.